Good evening, friends and neighbors. Tuesday night, we're taking a little break from watching the Olympics and just want to talk to you about when God blows a bubble for you and you just are so sure you can't be seeing it right and there must be a mix up. Um, that God has to keep pushing you and pushing you. Um, for me, it was when I became a physical therapist. I'm from Indiana, and I wanted to stay in Indianapolis where I graduated from school. Um, the idea of going down anywhere else just wasn't in the cards for me. I was hoping to apply to a children's hospital there, and but before I could get to that interview, I interviewed at a job down in South Texas and went down there, had a nice long weekend, and it was nice, but I didn't want to move there. I wanted to stay in Indianapolis. Um, I tell you, I waited and waited to tell them yes. I even interviewed for the job in Indianapolis, and when I told her that I potentially had an offer down in Texas, she's like, well, have a good time down that job. Um, I couldn't see how that could have nearly been right. A little time went by, and I came home for a visit because I did take the job in Texas and got together for lunch with one of my friends from school who did end up working for Riley Children's Hospital in Indianapolis. And as we were talking, we discussed what kind of opportunities we'd had, things we were able to do. And by the time we got done talking, whereas, she knew she had a really good opportunity down there, I kind of figured out that I probably got the better end of that deal. Yeah, I had to leave some people behind in Indianapolis, but the things I was able to learn, the things I was able to do with that job, made up for it. And I look back on it to this day, and it just amazes me how everything fell together. But again, I pushed back and I pushed back as much as I could. Kind of reminds me of looking in the Old Testament with one of the judges, Gideon. Gideon was one that he just didn't think he had any potential. He was like the least in his family. His family was the least in their tribe. And he just, when he got picked, it's kind of like, really, God, you sure you want me? And then God said, yeah, you're who I want. And in fact, you're going to go lead the Israelites to defeat the Midianites who have been torturing them for years. And God finally, it's like, okay, you Israelites, I think it's time I need to pull you out of this and protect you from the Midianites. You're calling out to me, so now I'm going to look after you. And so the job came to Gideon to lead this. And so you find in Judges 6 and 7 tells his whole story. But I want to talk about how Gideon handled it when he was told to go out and fight. It starts in Judges 6:36. Gideon said to God, if you will save Israel by my hand, as you have promised, look, I will place a wool fleece on the threshing floor. If there is dew only on the fleece, and all the ground around is dry, then I will know you will save Israel by my hand, as you said. And that is what happened. Gideon rose early the next day. He squeezed the fleece and wrung out the dew, a bowl full of water. Then Gideon said to God, do not be angry with me. Let me make just one more request. Allow me one more test with the fleece. But this time make the fleece dry and let the ground be covered with dew. That night God did so, only the fleece was dry, all the ground was covered with dew. So he finally got convinced. And then we pick up the next day, where Gideon takes his people out to go defeat the Midianites. And they all are quite sure they need as many people as possible. So in Judges 7:1, it starts, early in the morning, Jerubbaal, that is Gideon, and all his men camped at the spring of Harod. The camp of Midian was north of them in the valley near the hill of Morah. The Lord said to Gideon, "You have too many men. I cannot deliver Midian into their hands, or Israel will boast against me. My own strength has saved me. Now announce to the army, anyone who trembles with fear may turn back and leave Mount Gilead." So 22,000 men left, while 10,000 remained. But the Lord said to Gideon, "There are still too many men. Take them down to the water, and I will thin them out for you there. If I say, 'This one shall go,' and you go with you, he shall go. But if I say, 'This one shall not go with you,' he shall not go." So Gideon took the men down to the water. There the Lord told him, "Separate those who lap the water with their tongue as a dog laps from those who kneel down to drink." 300 of them drank from cupped hands, lapping like dogs. All the rest got down on their knees to drink. Then the Lord said to Gideon, "With 300 men that lapped, I will save you and give the Midianites into your hands. Let all the others go home." And yeah, God delivered the Midianites into their hands with only 300 men. And the only explanation that they made it was God was there. God held them, he carried them, he took care of his children. It's kind of like that first job that I just resisted and resisted because I was sure it couldn't be right. And it ended up probably being the best first job I could have had. And he carried me through a lot of things that I got through that, when I think back, knowing what I know now, I'm just really impressed I got all the opportunities that I got. So, are you holding on to something now? Are you, I guess, holding on to safety? Are you pushing back that chance to take that really big step out there? And that big step, I mean, for some people, that big step could be, applying for a new job, being willing to move out and stretch your wings. It could be something like I'm doing now. It could be starting a YouTube page and trying to be an influencer. It could be getting to the gym and making that workout something that is a bigger part of your life than just getting through a New Year's resolution. God's blowing that bubble for you. He's putting that desire in your heart. And trust me, I know what it feels like. God's putting a desire in your heart and you don't want to do it, but you finally do and things come through. I know what it's like to have that desire put in your heart and you're waiting for a long time for things to get delivered. But you know what God really needs when he needs it for you, for those around you, he will do it. Don't know if putting a fleece out will always give an answer. It's kind of one of those things that I have found that if I'm putting a fleece out to get an answer, it's because I already know the answer is no. I'm just hoping he'll say yes. And anyway, I hope on this lovely evening that, and our morning, whenever you're watching this, I hope that you feel God's hand on you, guiding your directions, and knowing that he will bring you through it. That he's kind of already laid things out before you. So anyway, hope you have a good evening. Let me know what you think. Press like and start following me if you're interested in more or want to see my old ones. I appreciate your time. You have a good evening and good night.